guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, this channel is all about my journey throughout CRNA school. So today's video is going to be a semester 4 week 8 update. If you guys are interested, let's get into the nitty gritty. I am so excited to be announcing that I am halfway through semester 4. It is so crazy to me that I am almost done with didactic. I said it in my first semester 4 video that I was going to talk about being the end of didactic for like every single video, and I'm pretty sure that's correct. It's like, I don't know what it is about this semester, the finality of being in the classroom. It's just like, I don't know, maybe it's actually a little bit of nostalgia every time I go to class because I know it's going to come to an end, but I'm so over the classroom environment, but I do enjoy spending time with my cohort, so it's gonna be kind of like a bittersweet feeling, I'm sure, but 8 weeks from now, I will be done with the classroom and moving on to full-time clinicals, so yes, I'm excited about this, but the assignment comes with a hitch. I have to take the C exam. I signed up for it in 3 weeks, so in order to move on to semester 5, I have to get a 425 on the C exam. I'm actually very, very nervous, but now that midterms are done, I'm going to be switching gears to studying for the C exam. I still have some busy work. I said that I was going to be done by week 8 with all of the busy work. I still have a few assignments. I'm going to get into detail on that in a second, but I'm happy with where I'm at. I feel like I have the ability now to switch gears and just focus on the C and kind of put my classes on the back burner for now just because of where I'm sitting. And yeah, let's get into it. So 2 of my classes are kind of, to me, not that important when it comes to the material that's being covered, because I don't think that we'll see some of this information on the board exam or anything like that. So my anesthesia rules class, we usually have a lecture and then afterwards we'll have a quiz. So that to me is enough in and of itself of like learning for that class. I don't really put any mind to it other than after I take the quiz. And it's kind of just like a post-class learning activity, if you will. So it's really not that stressful. And then before I move on from that class, I do have one more group project that we have coming up in week 11, I believe. We have to make our own contract as if we were an employer offering a contract to an employee. So we have to, put in this contract what we would probably want to see as an employee, as far as salary, benefits, vacation, overtime, like a whole bunch of things. So it's kind of interesting to go into detail with that because once you're familiar with what a contract looks like, then you're aware of what you'd be willing to accept when a contract is offered to you. So this is kind of cool. I'm actually not too upset about this project. I have 3 weeks to do it, and it's in a group. We have a Google Doc, and we just, dump stuff in there, and then we make a PowerPoint presentation. So I don't really think of it too much as a busy work assignment. I think it's more so education for our future. So that's why I kind of do like this class, because we just had a project where we went over the different, state scope of practice laws and, different salaries, cost of living for each individual state. So each one of us had 2 states, some of us had 3, and we covered all the information that the state had to offer. So, if you're kind of on the fence of where you want to work, it's kind of interesting to see like, oh, this state has restrictions as far as scope of practice, so that's probably not a place I want to be, kind of thing. So it was pretty cool. I did enjoy that project. It was very, very, very time consuming. I hated it in the moment, but kind of going over it reinforced like, okay, I don't want to work in that state. I don't want to work in this state. I mean, granted, I want to stay where I'm at, but if there's a chance that I move on, that's something to keep in mind. But so this class is pretty much like for like life stuff, and it's pretty cool, but yeah, I'm over it. Now, the business class, we just had a business paper that I turned in yesterday. It's actually due tonight, but I work in a few hours, so I didn't want to be stressed about finishing the paper and submitting it on time. I just wanted to be done with it and move on. We still do have to do a presentation based on this paper, so it's due in 2 weeks, so I'm going to take some time and just put it all together. It's just a summary of the paper that I just wrote, so that, in PowerPoint format, so it's not going to be too difficult, and then we're going to be presenting it, I think, coming up in a few weeks after that. But yeah, like the fact that the business paper is done, it's similar to the anesthesia roles class where we have quizzes after the lectures, like a post-class learning, and we also have homeworks that we have to do from the book's website. So just busy work nonsense, but it really isn't too time consuming. So I'm not really worried about that. Both those classes I have like almost 100s in. I think I got like 1 point docked on my CV for not having something in chronological order, and then the other class I think I'm still waiting on the grade for the state project, but I think I'm at a point where it's like I can't get anything less than an A in those two classes. So I'm excited about that. It's kind of just like doing the assignment and turning it in. So that's, one benefit of those two classes. Now let's get into the nitty gritty real stuff, the real anesthesia stuff. So I just finished all my midterms for the 3 classes that I have left. Special populations, I had the midterm in week 7. So last week I went over it a little bit. I had told you that my raw score was an 82, but she was going to review the item analysis on the questions to see if there was, if more than half the class got a question wrong, she would evaluate it further. And I got 3 points back. So I ended up with an 85 on my midterm for special populations, which puts me at a point where all I need is an 82 on the final to keep an A in the class. So that's exciting because now what we have coming up is OB and geriatrics. So that's, to me, doable because I don't think I put enough time and effort into the midterm as I thought I could or should, because I had the pediatric background. So I was like, I'm good, I'll be fine. But I really should have taken some time to study a little more. I could have definitely done a little better. But that being said, I turned in almost all the Apex workbooks for that class. There's 6 in that class. I still have 2 left. I'm working on the obstetrics Apex workbook, and I have a geriatrics Apex workbook, but those are my last 2 Apex workbooks. So as far as busy work assignments, I mentioned for anesthesia roles, I am short on the group contract agreement that I have coming up in week 11. In business, I have the presentation for the paper that's due in week 10. And then for special populations, I have 2 Apex workbooks that I still have to turn in, but I have due in week 14 and week 15. For obstetrics, it's week 14. Geriatrics, it's week 15. So I definitely have time for all of those. But I have the C exam coming up in week 11, so I'm trying to knock as much out as I can. But anyway, let's just keep going. So as far as special population goes, I already mentioned I need an 82 on the final, and I think that's very doable. So coexisting diseases, I had the midterm this past week. There was a lot of written response questions that I was kind of not anticipating. I also wasn't anticipating the test being as hard, because she mentioned that she was going to reuse some of the questions from a quiz that we had in week 5. So I was like kind of like, I'm just gonna wing this one because it's only 10% of the class. I really shouldn't have done that, but I only studied for it. So my midterm for surgical procedures was at 9, and I had my midterm for coexisting diseases at 1. So I got out of the midterm, I think at 10-ish. I took like an hour to do 50 questions, but whatever. At 10, from 10 to 1, I was studying. So in that time is the only time I put in effort. And then obviously the questions that she reused from the quiz. But I think I did okay. I just refreshed my grade book, and I still don't have a grade for the midterm yet. So I'm kind of anxious about that. I already mentioned that it is only 10% of the class because the C exam is worth so much. So that's a good thing, but I also wanted to set myself up where I can just coast in the finals, because having 3 exams in the same week it sucks. It's no way to candy coat it. It really sucks. So whatchamacallit. So yes, I'm waiting for the grade on that. We will be having a quiz more than likely in a few weeks, because she does it where she wants us to be on top of the material that we're studying for the final. Like she did it for the midterm halfway, and then she uses like the questions for the final. So the quizzes are really not worth that much. They're only 5% of the total class combined. So like each quiz is worth 2.5%. So that's like really nothing. I might be lying. I don't know why I thought the quizzes were worth 5%, but anyway, I think that's the 2 quizzes combined. But anyway, the assignments aren't worth that much because there are just so much other things going on. I already finished all the Apex workbooks for this class. There was 11 of them, and I've already got a grade for all of those already. I said already like twice in the same sentence. So I finished the Apex workbooks. We have the C exam. She's gonna have us do care plans when we go to clinicals. I think they have us going to 2 clinical days this semester, so 8 weeks left, and we have to fit in 2 clinical days at some point. The quizzes, and we had a case study. I already got the grade for the case study. She gave me a 98, I think it was, for the case study, so that's really great because that just helps keep the grade up. So yeah, I'm really not that worried about this final and the quiz coming up. Those are the last 2 things other than the C exam that I have for that class. I think I can pull through, but you never know. What I like about this teacher and what I don't like about this teacher is that her quizzes and her tests, they make you think. I guess they kind of put you in that board style mentation where yes, you know the material, like where she covered, but she wants you to use this information and, you know, deduce it for something else. You know, it's like you kind of have to think, and I like it. Like I walk out of her quizzes and her tests like, wow, I really had to use my noggin on that, and I kind of like that. But I also feel like, man, I don't even know if I got that right, because did I think it through correctly? Did I critically think that in the appropriate manner? You know, it's like, yes, it's helping us think outside of the box, but I'm also like scared that I'm not getting those questions right. So it's like, it's a little anxiety inducing, but also helps me like actually put it all together, you know, versus just knowing the information to putting it in practice. I feel like she's giving us the opportunity to do that, but I'm not quite there yet. Now, as far as surgical procedures, that class, we don't have any Apex workbooks, but we do have pre-class learning activities where we're outlining the chapters before every class period. So I've been doing those on time. I have one that I have to do for Wednesday, and I'm halfway through with that. But we just had the midterm, and I'm pleasantly surprised she stuck to the study guide she sent us. It was kind of like, you know, just main points, but every main point I looked in her slides. I listened to her lectures. I also was not feeling well, so I couldn't sleep, and I spent, I think, 18 hours studying because I couldn't lay down. Like every time I mentioned I was feeling under the weather last week, and I was having like issues where when I would lay down I would feel nauseous, so I didn't lay down for like 18 hours, and then I went and took my midterms, so I was up for like 24 hours. And then finally, after the midterms ended, I was able to relax. I think it was the nerves mixed with feeling under the weather and, you know, things going on. So I actually took advantage of this time that I wasn't feeling well to review her lectures. I just listened to her lectures, and I had her study guide open, and I had the lectures open as she was reviewing. So if she mentioned a bullet point, I was like, okay, she kind of words this almost similar to this slide. So then I was like, let me remember this slide. So I was pleasantly surprised that I did that test, and I felt like I got those answers right because I could relate them to the PowerPoint slide that she had gone over when I was listening to it the night before. So I think because of that, I was able to do so well. I got a 90 on the test, but I still think that there might be an issue with one of the questions, so I'm going to review it with her this week, but I'm happy with that. You know, I feel like if I set myself up so high, then it just puts me at a better standpoint for finals. So I was grateful to have a 90. I did the math before I took these tests. I needed to have, I think, 2 80s in order to maintain an A in the class because of all the other things that she has us doing. We still do have a case study for this class. Mine is going to be in week 13. So that's another one of the busy work assignments that I have left. But that one is in a group, so you kind of just have to go based on when everybody else is ready to work on that as well. But I think that will be fine as far as that class. I did write the paper already. That one is due in week 12. So I'm just waiting to turn it in. I'm probably going to review it, like proofread it one more time and then turn it in. But yeah, I mean, as far as all my classes, I'm only short on a few busy work assignments. I feel like I'm at a good standpoint right now, where I feel comfortable with where I'm at. I did want to have all the Apex workbooks done by week 8, but I still have 2 left, and there's still a few more days before I feel like I start week 9. Because to me, week 9 starts on the day of class, and then it ends right before class the following week. So I have until Tuesday to finish those workbooks, and I will be working tonight. If I have some downtime, I will probably put some time and effort to those workbooks. But anyway, that's it for this video. I'm happy to announce that I am doing really well. I have A's in all my classes so far. I am still waiting on a grade for coexisting diseases. That might change whether or not I have an A in the class or not, but I think I'm doing great so far. I'm excited to knock out these next 8 weeks and keep you guys updated throughout. So yeah, that's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye!